Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and it's Friday, so we have a Friday funny. And as Friday funnies go, this isn't hilarious. Oh my God, it's just so funny. It is just too absurd that you have to just laugh at it, even though it's not funny at all. Okay, it's right here. Yellen warns inaction on climate could cause economic crisis. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is warning of economic calamity if climate change is not addressed with immediate government intervention. Now, this woman here, her job is to run the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury, implying that America has money. As Peter Schiff, I believe, calls it, they need to not have a treasury of the secretary of the treasury, but a secretary of the debt, because America doesn't have any money. Okay, right here we are inching closer and closer to $31 trillion in currency collapsing debt. And we have been in currency collapsing debt, I believe, since Mr. B.O.'s second year in office. I believe it was when we hit the hockey stick moment where, your fiat currency debt graph looks like a hockey stick, and then you are at economic collapse. It's inevitable. It will happen. So the economic, crisis that is about to come, not just to Americans' living rooms, but to the world, has absolutely nothing to do with climate change. And, immediate government intervention, this is the same Mr. B.O.'s occupation that has refused the light years best environmental education and agenda the world needs, that would have really done a huge turning of the ship in terms of solving our problems. Many of them would be, solved and on the way to recovery by now, and other problems would be getting better. And but there was absolutely no interest, since Mr. B.O.'s first presidential campaign. And now, along with everybody, including the United Nations, but now, somebody that's in the secretary of the same administration is blaming the economic calamity on climate change if it's not addressed. So, are you kidding me? America is in 31 trillion currency collapsing debt. It was currency collapsing long ago. This is not funny, but let's just take a look at what she has to say. Now, the article doesn't talk a whole lot about it. They go into just a few little other stupid, ridiculous stuff, but that right there repeats up at the headline. She was joined by local business owners and prominent Democrats in North Carolina. And Yellen said the increasing frequency and severity of natural disasters could create devastating short-term supply reductions of everyday goods that cause prices to skyrocket. Um, yeah, so just like during, the pandemic, but what's coming has absolutely nothing to do with natural disasters from climate change. You're always going to have natural disasters, whether there's climate change or not. Okay. If these natural disasters is because of climate change is, of course, up for debate every day. No one knows for sure. And so the responsible thing to do is not care about that, but you just, care that everything that is said to create global warming causes so many other problems that it's just responsible to live responsibly, to reduce by reusing the two highest levels of the environmental hierarchy. And why take the chance with destructive storms that could be because of our emissions when these emissions are so easy to prevent if only anybody would allow solutions since 1993. Right here, Gore, I am impressed with your hard work and commitment to the ideas contained in the material you provided me. Thank you for keeping me informed of your efforts in bringing this proposal to my attention. Gore, 99 from him himself, 98 too. Okay, just Gore's been preventing the solutions forever. So hasn't everybody. Gore since shortly after November 93. Started with Vail, Gore, Redford, Sundance, the NRDC, and the United Nations. And then everybody else. I lived in Vail when I started the Environmental Educator. And Vail to this day still couldn't be prouder to keep solutions from the world, along with everybody else. You know, the ski industry. I mean, this is what Big Sky thinks of the environment, taking care of it. A town of 4 ski areas that just can't be bothered to care, even though they're pretending to now. Pretending to is the key word. This is the Yellowstone Club, the exclusive Yellowstone Club. Okay, this is what they did to my signs asking me to give Bill Gates a zero wish. They didn't take kindly to that, but well, whatever. We're gonna do a video on Big Sky pretty soon. But the point is, it's everybody, and it was this administration too. Okay, and it's everybody. It's everybody this administration associates with. It's everybody they go to global conferences with, day in and day out, year after year after year after year, and nobody can figure things out because one, they're not very bright and they can't figure things out, and they won't let the only person that actually really has solutions in. Okay, because I would have solved this problem by now. But here, you know, she's out, Janet Yellen is out doing her um, occupation duty. You know, she reminded them of, you know, Hurricane Florence. It killed people, 24 billion in damages. Okay, yeah, yep, that's what happens. And if we just lived responsibly, maybe, you know, we would be reducing these storms if they are caused by climate change, you know, the greenhouse gases, like these people say, but we would address so many other problems. But, you know, she talks about, you know, right here, you know, she's just throwing phases out because she said the spending about the from the climate bill, I think, will be particularly helpful in non-coastal communities that have suffered disinvestment. Like that's just like throwing words out there. Like, okay, okay, but is it going to do any good? No, no, it's not doing any good. Not when you won't allow the solutions the world needs. But you know, she's out here, and what does she know about the environment? Okay, Janet Yellen, I can assure you, is as environmentally illiterate as most everybody in the White House, um, everybody in Congress. They're environmentally illiterate. People that make environmental decisions at all levels of government. They're environmentally illiterate. They just listen to, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, well we learned in college. Oh, we're going to recycle. Oh, well, how about we just don't have recycling. That's way higher level thinking, you know. But the people, the environmentally illiterate people making the decisions, are just listening to some people that are educated, but not really, you know. And so we have environmental illiteracy making decisions, and right here, yeah, Janet, grandma over here, she is just outdoing her role in her New World Order role, you know, out promoting their agenda when she and her buddies have gotten America to currency collapsing debt. She is the one, you know, that's causing the supply chain interruptions. Right? Are you kidding me? And you know, and the skyrocketing of prices. All you have to do is watch a few short videos just about that, and you will realize you can't just keep printing money out of thin air. Okay, and that will cause increasing you know, prices to skyrocket, and we're at that point. So Yellen, you know, has created this, which right down here, The Republican National Committee spokeswoman Taylor Mazock called Yellen's trip to North Carolina ironic, accusing her of touting so-called solutions to economic problems that she and the Biden administration occupation created. And it's not the last few years. We were in currency collapsing debt uh, well before this current occupation. We were in currency collapsing debt and spending money like crazy under Trump. Okay, the people before Mr. B.O., who, and Mr. B.O.'s, I think it was his second year in office that we hit the hockey stick moment. And the people before him got us in debt to bring us to that hockey stick moment. And you know who's the sole actual responsible person for this debt is the American people who haven't done their job of keeping their government in control. Period. Just like every other problem in America. Americans are, oh God, I'm not happy as America's destroyed because they haven't done their job. So, but, here we have Granny. she's out there just, playing her role. But here, Republican U.S. Senator, National Public Servant, as I call them, Tom Tillis, criticized the occupation Tuesday for its reckless spending policies that he said have been a disaster for North Carolina families and the economy, right? Families everywhere. The occupation's answer of all our problems has been to spend more money we don't have on far left priorities like green energy welfare, which will only make inflation worse for North Carolinians, for everybody, right? And what does it do? It is adding to our currency collapsing debt. And here we have the secretary of the debt, as Peter Schiff says, we should call the secretary of the treasury because America doesn't have money. And she's out there blaming climate. And I can assure you, our economic problems are not due to climate. So, once again, just what an embarrassment. You want to say what an embarrassment to the American people, but it's the American people that have created this embarrassment by allowing it for decades and decades and decades. So, kudos, everybody. But another Friday funny here because some things are so absurd, you just have to laugh about them. Stay tuned, people.